Hello everyone and welcome back to Reddit Taletales. Today we've got some Am I the Asshole stories for you, so sit back, relax and let's just jump straight into it. Am I the asshole for not telling my family that my husband is transgender? My husband is a transgender man, therefore he cannot get me pregnant. We agreed before we even got married that we wanted to adopt, and we're a couple years into the process right now and are probably a couple of years off from being able to adopt kids. We told my parents that we want to adopt, but I've never told them he is trans because we didn't think they'd accept it. They are aware of our adoption plans and have asked us if we've seen a fertility specialist when we said we couldn't have kids, and we said we hadn't seen one because we want to adopt. For our anniversary a couple of days ago, my parents told us they've prepaid for a consultation at a fertility clinic. They've put down £200 just for the initial consultation and another £120 for a semen culture. I already have a son from a previous relationship, so they know I'm not the problem. They've prepaid for it and sent us an invoice from the clinic confirming that the consultation tests have both been paid for. They've also paid for train tickets, £108, for us to get to the clinic. My husband then decided to come out to them as transgender and explain exactly why he couldn't have a semen culture done. No semen. Edit, to be clear, he chose to tell them and he told them himself. I didn't out him. Since telling them, all hell has broken loose. They were furious we didn't tell them sooner, said they had a right to know who they were allowing into their family, and are fuming that they've put down money for a consultation/test we won't be having. They want an apology for not telling them sooner and a refund on the £428 they paid out, as they say they wouldn't have put that money down if they'd known we already knew exactly why we couldn't have kids, the old-fashioned way, as my dad put it. I said we didn't ask them to put the money down and it was disrespectful of them to do so when they know we want to adopt, and it shouldn't matter to them whether my husband is cis or trans. However, they feel that they are owed an apology for hiding the truth and expect us to refund the £428 they paid out, as they would not have paid it out if they knew the truth. We think we might be the ass because they were coming from a good place. Honestly, we probably should have told them sooner. Are we the ass for not telling/refunding them? No. First off, it was a wedding anniversary present. They paid and then told you, so it was a gift that they gave to you knowing that they wouldn't get any money back for it. As soon as they found out that they couldn't have children, so if they'd been to the clinic and been told they couldn't have children, they would have dropped it and never asked you for the money. But because they found out that he is transgender, they're demanding this money back even though you told them we want to adopt. This is our way of life, this is our choice. You might not want to have a child. That's up to you. You want to adopt that child instead. That's perfectly fine. So you're not the asshole today. It's not their right to know that your husband is transgender at all. So moving on. Am I the ass for letting my daughter repurpose a gift I did not like or want? Several years ago, I had a miscarriage. I do not know how, but my sister-in-law found out about this fairly recently. In a misguided attempt to be supportive, she recently sent me a framed poem about babies in heaven, decorated with angels. It was pretty large, very tacky, and very unwanted. Not only am I not actively grieving the loss of pregnancy, we are not religious, and she knows that. Also, it's just not my style, and I don't want it on my wall. Anyways, my oldest daughter is really creative and wanted to use the print itself in one of her collages. It turned out really beautiful. She incorporated the best parts of the poem and images with other pieces from elsewhere. I know this might sound cheesy, but it actually took me from being reminded of a really painful part of my life to being so grateful for the wonderfully creative kids I have. My husband got the final product framed and it is hanging on our wall at home. Sister-in-law saw this last night while she was FaceTiming with my husband, and she got really upset. Husband told her that while we appreciate the gesture, it wasn't really appropriate, and he thought that our daughter reusing parts of the gift was better than us throwing it out. I know this is personal for sister-in-law as she's very religious and has struggled with infertility, but we are not close, and I don't appreciate the random angel baby poem in the mail years after I lost my last pregnancy. It's weird and invasive to me. I don't feel bad about letting my daughter cut up the poem, but I need to say something to sister-in-law to keep the peace. Am I the ass? I mean, the gift was misguided, but came from, I guess, a place of care because she's in the same position herself, and I guess it might have just been seen as a throw back to her because she's more intense for her. I don't know. It's a hard one. What do you guys think? I can't make up my mind on this one. Am I the asshole? I lied about having a college fund for my stepsister to save my sister. I am 32F. I grew up with a narcissistic mom. I have never met my dad. The first hug I have ever received in my life was at 10 years old when Dan, my mom's boyfriend, hugged me when I thanked him for a gift. My mum had my sister a year later. My sister was the perfect baby sister anyone could ask for. Mum and Dan split, and at first, Mum had major custody of my sister. Mum did the same thing to my sister she did to me. Doesn't even acknowledge us in the room if she was not in the mood, not feeding us dinner if we made a mistake, made everything our fault. When Dan found out, he applied for full custody of my sister, but my mother fought and somehow wrangled 50% of custody. Things got really bad for me, and the only silver lining was my sister. Despite being only 4 years old, she would sneak in snacks from her dad for me to eat. Anything Dan bought for her, he also bought for me. He wasn't wealthy by any means, but it was the small things, and any time he dropped my sister, he will take his time to talk to me. He was the only father I have ever known. Dan died of cancer when I was 16 and my sister 5. He lived only 3 months from the diagnosis, but settled everything financially as able as he can for my sister. He split his assets 75% for my sister and 25% for me, to be given to me when I reached 18. Knowing my mom very well, he made me the executor of my sister's fund too. To say my mom was furious was an understatement. She literally made the next 2 years of my life and my sister a living hell. When my mom started dating Brad, he already had a daughter 3 years younger than my sister. My mum had made it absolutely clear that my sister would be allowed to go to college only if she shares her trust fund with our stepsister. Brad is a piece of work, and me and my sister never really bonded with our stepsister. She refused to sign anything related to my sister's education unless I gave her my word that I will give my stepsister equal half of the trust fund. This is where I think I was the asshole. I held the trust fund above my mum's head to treat my sister fairly. I repeatedly told them I would give my stepsister half of the fund until my sister was 18 and moved to college. Once she moved out, we both cut any contact we had with our mom and blocked her. I made my sister give her the wrong college info so our mom couldn't contact her. I have found out through a few friends my mom didn't know that my stepsister couldn't get into any colleges because she didn't want to apply any loans, and she is very depressed. I know I misled them, but in all honesty, I wanted my sister to be safe. Am I the asshole for causing my stepsister's depression and robbing her of her college? No, you are not. It is clear, cut and dry. That money was left to your sister, and the 25% was left to you. It was not owed to anyone else, and it was for your sister's college and education, and that was to further her life and her steps forward. And no, you're not the asshole at all. That was really good of you to hold firm and stick it out until the very end and giving your sister that chance. And there's an edit down below in the comments which said that her sister read this and told her that she was an idiot and that she did the right thing because she saved that fund to go for her sister and for the future. on to the next story. Am I the ass for not giving younger sister more inheritance? I, 46 female, recently lost both of my parents in quick succession. They both died peacefully of natural causes / old age. I have an older brother, 47, and a younger sister, 32. Yes, I was 14 when my sister was born. She was a menopause baby. In fact, my mother thought that most of her early pregnancy was symptoms of the menopause. We were all excited to have a new baby, though especially me, as I was the youngest of all the cousins and none of my friends had young siblings when we were all growing up. My parents were always very fair with all of us when it came to money and time spent with us. They encouraged our hobbies and liked to spend time with us. Our dad died first and everything went to our mum. When she died, everything was split between the three of us, apart from the things that were stated, such as a set of golf clubs going to my brother and jewellery left specifically to my sister or to me. We decided to sell our parents' house and split the proceeds equally, as none of us wanted to live in it. Last week, my brother and I received an email from our sister. She believes that she should be given more inheritance money or the entire proceeds of the house sale. Her reasoning for this is that as she is so much younger than my brother and I, she got to spend less time with my parents whilst they were alive than we did. Somehow she reasons that this is fair. My brother and I think this is absolute nonsense. Our parents were clear on the splitting things equally. We both left home when we turned 18 to go to university and were lucky that we didn't need to return home for a while to save money or anything like that. My sister lived with our parents until she was 25. My brother and I have agreed that we are not giving our sister any more of our share of the inheritance, which isn't much anyway, and the proceeds of the house will be split 3 ways as specified in both of our parents' wills. She has said that we are selfish and she is owed this because she didn't have as much time with our parents. I don't feel like I am in the wrong here, but a few of my friends have suggested I make a token payment to keep her happy. I don't think she would be unless it was a significant portion of my inheritance or my share of house sales. Am I an arsehole for not wanting to give my sister more money just because she is younger than me? Edit. Thank you very much to all of you for your condolences. Becoming an orphan is very hard at any age. It seems I am thinking that I will speak to my brother about talking to our sister about getting some sort of grief counselling and offer to go with her. It might be a way of finding out if there are any other issues that we don't know about, as outwardly she is a very successful professional. If there is something wrong, then we will offer our support. I love my sister very much and I don't want to end up estranged over this, especially during a time of grief. So I agree with the OP here, especially in the edit about going to counselling and talking it through. She could be having some financial troubles or going through the grief, and it's just her way of trying to get more of her parents, more of that. But no, I don't think you're the asshole here, OP. That's all we have time for today. If you liked any of these stories, please leave a comment down below about which one was your favourite. Hit that like button and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys all again very soon. Goodbye.